everybody, and welcome to historic Holman Stadium. We are minutes away from the first pitch of today's semifinal playoff game in New Hampshire Boys Division I baseball. It'll be the Alvirne Broncos in the dugout to your left at third base, and the Bishop Guertin Cardinals in the first base dugout to your right. I'm John Collins along with Tom King. Tom, the semifinals, the four best teams in the state. Two of them are here. They're just located a few miles apart, and a lot of excitement in the air despite the inclement weather.
Well, we had a little bit of rain early on, John, but a little drizzle before the start. They had to delay the game. But yeah, there is a lot of excitement. I think for Alvirne, I think they somewhat expected to be here. I think they thought that they had a deep pitching staff, and they had the team that's could play well enough to get here. For Guertin, they come in as a 15 seed, 7-12. In fact, John, if Guertin wins the state championship, right, they still won't finish the season with a
winning record.
With a winning record,
despite running the table in the playoffs.
They were 7-12 coming in.
7-12.
Only win 4 games to win the state title.
In fact, these two teams did play earlier in the season, and it was a win 9-2 for Alvirne on May 4th at Alvirne High School.
Well, here's the thing, all right? I was at that game, and for Guertin right now, it looks like they're, take the phrase out of The Godfather, they're settling all family business. They beat Cody Morissette of Exeter, who shut them out 11-0 on a one-hitter earlier in the season. They beat him last Thursday in the prelims, all right?
They did.
7-2.
7-2.
Then they went up against Matt Meisner of Salem, who beat them 5-0. They returned the favor in the quarterfinals, beating him 5-0.
Amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
And now here we are against Alvirne. Who's the pitcher that beat them the first time? Matt McKinley. Who's starting on the mound for Alvirne today?
Dean Lamoth.
No, Matt McKinley is.
Is he?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Lamoth's playing first base.
Okay, he's at first base.
Yeah. Matt McKinley.
is pitching.
Is the pitcher. So
I had McKinley playing first, according to your hieroglyphics over there. We'll find out in a minute.
No, I know.
But it's all hands on deck, right? It's single elimination. You could see any one of the pitchers throw an inning or two.
Alvirne's got two aces. They've got Brown and they've got McKinley. I think Hudson. I think they're a better team with Brown in the field than Hudson on the mound, to be honest with you. But who knows?
Yeah.
We don't get that far. McKinley's the guy. Guertin, if they hit, they can do some damage. The problem is sometimes they don't hit very well. So you've got to take a look and see what they can do through the lineup. Now, against the Alvirne game, they also were throwing the ball all over the place because Alvirne was running all over the place. That's one thing to watch today. Be very active on the bases for both teams.
That's Tom King. The winner of this game will play the winner of Dover and Bedford, and for the chance to have the championship game on a Monday night up at Fisher Cat Stadium in Manchester. We'll take a break. The opening pitch just a minute away here on Nashua ETV.
Now, let's meet the starting lineup between the Bishop Guertin Cardinals and your Alvirne Broncos of Hudson. For the Bishop Guertin starting 9, leading off the shortstop, number 11, Andrew Tebow. Batting second, the right fielder, number 6, Tyler Faulkner. Batting third, the center fielder, number 9, Jake McMaster. In the cleanup spot, the third baseman, number 35, TJ Hart. Batting fifth, the left fielder, number 27, JT Hisco. Batting sixth, the second baseman, number 3, Mike Griffin. Batting seventh, the catcher, number 5, Alex George. Batting eighth in the designated hitter spot, number 22, Nick Slater. And finally, batting ninth, your pitcher, number 4, Dan Incropera. The head coach for the BG Cardinals are coached by Scott Payton. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the starting 9 for your Alvirne Broncos. Leading off, the pitcher, number 3, Matt McKinley. Batting second, the second baseman, number 1, Pat Rousseau. Batting third, the shortstop, number 7, Dan Brown. In the cleanup spot, the third baseman, number 5, Jason Hudson. Batting fifth in the designated hitter hole, number 9, Dan McChrystal. Batting sixth, the first baseman, number 21, DJ Lamoth. Batting seventh, the left fielder, number 6, Mike Samard. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 8, Curtis Rishal. And finally, batting ninth, the right fielder, number 18, Eddie Sweeney. The head coach for the Alvirne Broncos are coached by Mike Lee. And for the officials today are Adam Rosmick, Merle Larmy, and Ryan Truppi. And now, ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and remove your caps for Nashua's very own Mr. Al St. Louis.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Al.
Al St. Louis with the national anthem and a hint of sunshine to greet the first pitch, it appears, after some rain that occurred moments ago. Had the tarp on the mound, had the tarp on the plate.
The forecast of doom and gloom. Let's see what happens down the way. There was supposed to be, I was expecting heavy, gusty wind-blown storm. Now, if we get one of those, you can kiss this game goodbye.
Right.
They'll postpone the day.
Would they just play it tomorrow?
Yeah, I would imagine they'd come back here tomorrow. The Silver Knights are on the road the rest of the week until Sunday. So the stadium will be available, I'm pretty sure. So we'll see what happens. But McKinley, I saw him pitch. I thought he was excellent when he pitched against Guertin the first time. So you take a look at what he throws. He usually throws pretty hard. He can strike people out. He's got a good curveball. He's working on it right now. We just saw it. So we'll see what happens. I think Guertin was kept off balance even in the Salem game until the 6th inning. So with Guertin, it's always up to fundamentals with them a lot of times. They have to be able to think quick and make the right plays. And as long as they can do that and use their offense to help them out, then they're in good shape.
Leading off.
Thank you, Tom. Scott Painter is going to be putting his top 3 batters, Andrew Tebow, Tyler Faulkner, and Jake McMaster up there at the top of the order against Matt McKinley of Alvirne. The state semifinal game here at Holman Stadium. They play back-to-back semifinals. It will be Bedford against Dover in the night game after this one. And the winners of these 2 games will play at Fisher Cats Stadium. That's probably not what they call it anymore up in Manchester. Delta Dental, thank you. That's a nice prize. That's a beautiful facility and will accommodate, no doubt, A big crowd on a Monday night that game will be played. So after the weekend, plenty of time for both of these teams to rest. Both of the winners of today's semifinals, I should say. So Matt McKinley's first pitch of the game looked like it missed down and in to Andrew Tebow, the shortstop for Bishop Guertin, leading things off here. The 1-0 pitch is hit hard to center and deep. On his horse is Castro. It's way over his head and into second base with a double. And pulling up there is Tebow, who slams one about 350 feet to straightaway center.
At second, the right fielder, number 6, Tyler Faulkner.
Playing somewhat shallow was Castro. New Hampshire high schools use a ball that is called the Wilson A1010, and it acts just like a major league specifications. That ball can jump and carry, as it did there to straightaway center field. Leadoff double for Bishop Guertin. The bunt back to the pitcher. The bobble. Throw to no base as McKinley panicked, and it turns into an error against the pitcher.
Number 9,
it is a sacrifice and an error. Tyler Faulkner getting the job done, although he did bunt it right back to the pitcher. Not the ideal place to put it. McKinley, though, bobbled it several times. Thibault at second base had a late break. Initially, he was not going to go. And then about the second or third bobble by McKinley, Tebow took off and he made it. Had somebody called out to McKinley, they might have had a shot at Tebow at third. Instead, ideal opening to the game for Bishop Guertin. First and third with nobody out, and their 3-hitter up there. Jake McMaster, the center fielder for Guertin. Again, Alvirne playing Guertin straight away at all positions. Rather close to the line is Jason Hudson at third. Very high and foul off to the right. It's going to find the concourse, it looks like.
Fans, in the event of a foul ball leaving play, please return them to the field as soon as possible. Thank you.
DJ Lamoth gave a great hustle chase over there. That's a play at Holman where you have to watch out with a man at third. They'll take off on you if you catch one in foul territory with your back to the plate, even for infielders. The big bender stays up above the zone, so it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Jake McMaster, who has a chance to put his team on the board right away here. Leadoff double for Tebow. Sacrifice and an error. First and third. There goes the runner. And a bobble by Curtis Rishall. A stolen base for Faulkner. Faulkner now in scoring position along with Tebow. Second and third. Nobody out. And McMaster took that pitch. It was in the strike zone. The curveball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. First base is empty. You would imagine that McKinley is going to be a little bit more careful than usual about the placement to a 3-hitter. Ahead in the count with first base empty. State semifinal tournament game, top of the first inning. The pitch. Grounded to the left side of the infield. Another bobble. A throw to first is in time. Alvirne's got a case of the hiccups on these ground balls and pitches today, but that was a very effective pitch by McKinley as he's able to keep the curveball in on the hands of McMaster. Ground out to Jason Hudson at third. So now same situation as first and third, but 1 out for the cleanup hitter, T.J. Hart. Hart has got a lot of power from the right side. Again, Alvirne plays him straight away, playing all these BJ hitters basically the same. Ground ball is just foul. Maybe a foot wide of the bag between the base runner, Tebow, and the base. Hart first pitch swinging. McKinley throwing a lot of curveballs here in the opening inning. It is still scoreless, but BG with a golden opportunity here to take an early lead. A Wednesday, June 8th. If you're watching it live on a Wednesday, June 8th, 4 o'clock game, and Welcome to those of you who are watching on video recording. There's another breaking ball, and that's over the heart of the plate to TJ Hart, and it's 0-2 to the BG cleanup hitter. He was probably thinking curveball, fastball. Instead, McKinley doubling up on the breaking ball. There you see Rishal setting up outside. The pitch is outside for ball 1. Close, but a good take by TJ, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. A base hit could plate 2. A fly ball would also get a run home. McKinley working ahead in the count as he did to McMaster. See what he comes up with here. Swung on and missed. That was a little bit up in the zone.
Now batting the left fielder.
It was a smart
27,
pitch by McKinley,
Hisco.
elevating the fastball, and Hart seemed to have a moment's hesitation about whether he should offer at it because he was deciding if it was a ball or a strike, and by then it was too late. It was by him. Big strikeout. Now, instead of first and third and nobody out, first and third and 2 out for the Cardinals. The big bender is up. Matt McKinley working from the stretch with runners at second and third and 2 out. Is 1 batter, 1 out away from getting out of this first inning jam. JT Hisco takes another one that misses. Alvirne team and their fans looking for that upper outer strike call, but it was not in the zone, says the home plate umpire, and ahead in the count now is Hisco. JT waving that bat high above his head. It's a little bit of chess game here between McKinley and Hisco. Hisco not giving in as he takes another one out of the zone. Thought I had 3-0. The scoreboard, yeah, the scoreboard's now 3-0. And timeout is called by Hisco. Oh, he's back in there though. The pitch. Top of the zone, the fastball right down the middle. 3 balls and 1 strike. Dangerous hitter JT Hisco trying to come up with some 2-out magic here, top of the first in what is still a scoreless game. The 3-1 pitch is on the inside corner. Operating with first base empty. McKinley makes a brilliant pitch, front door curve there. The count has gone full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the first inning. 2 men in scoring position. The pitch is up, ball 4. A good take by Hisco, clearly up and out of the zone.
Number 3, Mike Griffin.
Not giving Hisco any kind of a fat pitch on that at bat was McKinley. Now he's got a deal to Mike Griffin, the second baseman for BG, with the bases loaded with Cardinals. Top of the first inning, still scoreless. McKinley wants Rishal to go through the signs again. Staying in the stretch with the bases loaded. And the pitch. A lot on that fastball, but it missed up. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to Griffin. 6 batters have come to the plate here for the Cardinals in the opening inning. Pickoff attempt and nearly got away. Dan Brown with a great catch, reaching back behind the base runner. Was able to grab it and still make a tag. Had the ball been on the bag, it would have been a close play. Faulkner gets back in there. The 1-0. Misses, 2 balls and no strikes. Had to be just an inch or inches off the plate there. Rishal tried to frame it. Now they're asking if the batter swung. The first base umpire says no, he did not. So it's 2 balls and no strikes. McKinley laboring here in the top of the first inning. It all started with a double to straightaway center by the leadoff batter Tebow, who was at third. The pitch. Ground ball to the shortstop. He will flip to the second baseman. Rocio covering, and McKinley gets out of a major jam to open this game. 0-0. Although Alvirne has yet to bat, that is a big sigh of relief for the Alvirne fans, as they were on the cusp of giving up a big inning there.
Be aware of the entire
The Cardinals, on the other hand, can take heart in sending 6 men to the plate.
If the announcer will caution the crowd against coming onto the field. Be impartial. Announce the contest.
And a lot of them got a good look at McKinley early. So
be enthusiastic but calm.
the leadoff double by Tebow ends up going to waste, and we go to the bottom of the first inning.
Directly or indirectly.
No score.
Permit no one to use the microphone except those in charge of the event. The announcer is
New Hampshire
for whatever is said
Interscholastic
over the
Athletic Association Division I boys semifinal baseball game at Holman Stadium on Wednesday, June 8th. It's the 4 o'clock game. This will be followed by a 7 p.m. game schedule. Might start later than that. We had a little bit of a rain delay here. And that'll be between Dover and Bedford. The winner of this game will play the winner of Dover-Bedford. Bedford was the #1 seed on the
Leading off
season.
for the Broncos, the pitcher, number 3, Matt McKinley.
Matt McKinley goes from the mound to the plate as the leadoff batter for the Broncos. And he's facing Dan Encropera. Big right-hander. Encropera loses that one out of his hand, and some taunting and some catcalling from the Alvirne fans as that one just got out of his grip there. And Encropera, a senior, fires that one over the plate. So a momentary grip problem solved. 1 ball and 1 strike to Matt McKinley. BG plays him straight up at all positions. Hard hit, wide of the bag. At third base for Bishop Guertin. TJ Hart might want to rethink playing in on the grass and anticipating a bunt, as that ball was pretty hard hit past him. And indeed, he does move back, not expecting the bunt whatsoever on 1 and 2, of course. The pitch, ground ball up the middle, gloved by the shortstop, fires to first in time. Beautiful play by Andrew Tebow. Tebow, the shortstop, was able to cover some nice ground there and make that play. So Pat Rocio, the second baseman, will come to the plate. 1 out and nobody on here. Bottom of the first inning in a scoreless game. Bishop Guertin loaded the bases in the top of the first, but did not score. Lazy fly ball to right center.
The shortstop, number 7,
that
Dan
was a
Brown.
fairly easy play for Jake McMaster. 2 up, 2 down for the Broncos here. Bottom first, and Dan Brown comes up. Brown has a home run in the state tournament. Hit it, I believe, in the semifinal game. Excellent left-handed batter, takes a floater, looked like a changeup. 0-1. Another changeup, 0-2, as Brown swung through it. Knowing Brown's reputation apparently as a good fastball hitter, Encropera throwing him anything but. Way ahead in the count now. The pitch, ripped foul, and that might have been the same pitch. It was a little in, maybe an inch off the plate, but Brown, not taking no chances, hits a one-hop rocket off of the aluminum bench down the right field line, where the bullpen pitchers usually sit here in Nashua Silver Knights games. Somebody would have been able to, somebody would have had to make a one-hop play for self-preservation if this was a Silver Knights game. That one is a fastball that's just kind of a show-me fastball, up and away. 1-2 is the count on Dan Brown. 2 out, no on. Bottom of the first inning in a scoreless game. That curveball also looked like a bit of a grip problem for Incropera. Working to Michael Griffin, the catcher. The pitch. That misses up and away, and from 0-2 to 3-2. Dan Brown, the 3-hitter, has worked the count back to even, basically. Next pitch will decide it. The full count offering fouled right over us, and it hits the facade in the to the booth right next to us. Brown doing a good job of spoiling another super slow changeup from Incropera. It was in the strike zone, though, I do believe. Up and in the strike zone. The 3-2 pitch again. Fastball, strike 3 called on the very outside corner. So a good job of pitching in the opening frame. Incropera allows no base runners as the Broncos go 1-2-3 in the first. Scoreless here at Holman Stadium in this New Hampshire Division I boys semifinal game.
Leading off for the Cardinals, the catcher, number 5, Alex George.
To the top of the second we go. Alex George, the catcher, will lead it off. 6 batters came to the plate in the top of the first, which means McKinley facing the bottom of the order here in the top of the second, the 6, 7, 8 hitters. The bat seemed to have a mind of its own there as George swung on a ball that nearly hit him off the plate inside. No balls and 1 strike. The bender just missed the outside corner. That's definitely an umpire's preference. You go to another game and see that ball called a strike. According to today's umpire, it's off the plate. Line drive to left, and making a nice catch running in on the ball was Mike Simard, the left fielder, who read that perfectly. A sinking line drive, well struck by George, but it's 1 up and 1 down here in the second inning for the Cardinals, who are playing the role of the visiting team because, well, they came in after finishing 15th in the standings in the regular season. They've had a tremendous tournament run, has Bishop Guertin, beating Exeter 6-2 and Bishop Guertin 5-0 in the opening round and quarterfinal round games. Fastball misses up high. McKinley featuring some velocity here to the bottom of the order. Nick Slater, the designated hitter, is batting 8th for the Cardinals. Looking at a 1-1 pitch from McKinley. That missed down, apparently. 2 balls and 1 strike. On deck is Bishop Guertin's pitcher, Dan Incropera. The pitch off the plate and maybe up as well. 3-1. McKinley, who has had good control of his good command on his curveball, having trouble spotting that fastball. The 3-1 pitch is on the way to Slater. Inside, and he's got to walk.
I don't know as much of whether he's had trouble spotting the fastball, John, or whether T-ball spooked him on the fastball. He drilled one to the deep center field. He hit it
to lead off the game.
390 feet to lead off the game.
He did.
So that's a big deal.
So we're to the 9 spot in the order. This is Dan Incropera, the pitcher for Bishop Guertin, and he's going to ground one through the right side for a base hit. First and second with one out. And that was a situation, Tom, where Pat Rossio, the second baseman, was kind of cheating over the bag.
He was, because they thought he was going to go. But here you go now. The Guertin base runners have to watch out. Alvirne will use the pickup. We saw an attempted second base already. They're going to have to watch out.
That was a terrific catch by Dan Brown to avoid that pickoff play going into center field, too. So another opportunity for Bishop Guertin. They loaded the bases in the first inning. came up empty. Now they've got first and second and one out here in the second inning. And we're all the way back to the top of the order. Tebow, who hit that double to straightaway center his first time up. Tom had it 390, added 350. Let's call it 370. Ground ball right side, knocking it down. Lamoth flips to McKinley covering for the out. Good play by DJ Lamoth on an overspin grounder. Had a lot of top spin on it, and he was able to make the play. But 2 runners in scoring position for the Cardinals. They had this opportunity in the first inning. Failed to score, but different batters at the plate now. Tyler Faulkner, who sacrificed a bunt back to the pitcher his first time up. A bunt that McKinley bobbled, allowing Faulkner to reach and allowing Tebow to go to third. Curveball catches the outside corner. Shake of the head by Faulkner. The 0-1 pitch from McKinley is on the way. Hard hit to right center. Nobody's playing there. This is going to plate 2 runs. And going for a double. Faulkner has it standing up 2-0. The Cardinals lead it on a clutch 2-out, 2 RBI double by Tyler Faulkner.
Fielder, number 9, Jake McMaster.
Jake McMaster batting for the second time in 2 innings. Alvirne's pitching coach wants to talk to McKinley. Tyler Faulkner has had a really good game so far with the successful sacrifice, followed by a 2-run double here in the second inning. Single elimination, New Hampshire boys baseball tournament. Anything can happen. You have a 7-12 team against an 11-7 team, a 15th seed against a 5 seed, but it's just one game of baseball, and a clutch hit like that can make a huge difference. It rained earlier this afternoon. Sunshine is the feature attraction right now at Holman Stadium. Pretty good crowd with more people filing in as they get out of work and come on down to the ballpark. McKinley working to McMaster, tops one foul. Looked like it might have been a first pitch change up to the BG center fielder. Faulkner, who runs well at second base, will be off with the crack of the bat. 2 out. McKinley peering in for the sign from Rishall and delivers. Big curve stays up. 2 balls, or 1 ball and 1 strike. McMaster grounded out to third his first time up. Goes with that open stance. The pitch. It was a pretty easy take for McMaster as it was going up and to the right as we look at it from the moment it left the hand of McKinley. 2-0. Bishop Guertin lead, a chance to add to it. Another shot to right center, and this is going to get another run home. McMaster flying into second base. He's thinking 3, and he's going to pull up, though, with 2 outs. He's already in scoring position as Faulkner scores, and a big 3-0 lead for the Cardinals.
Number 35, TJ Hart.
Back-to-back doubles to right center for the Cardinals. Tyler Faulkner and then Jake McMaster trade places, and it is a 3-0 lead for Bishop Guertin here in the top of the second inning. Alex George led off the inning with a line out to left. Slater walked and Cropera singled. Tebow grounded out to the first baseman. And then the scoring started. Tyler Faulkner, 2 RBI double. Jake McMaster, RBI double. 3-0. And Mike Lee, the coach of Alvirne, is going to make the move here in the second inning with 2 out and a man at second. He's going to go to his relief in a one-and-done game.
Your attention, please.
It's going to be Dan
now
Brown.
Pitching for the Broncos, number 7, Dan Brown.
So the shortstop for Bishop Guertin / pitcher, Dan Brown, will come in and assume his pitching role for this team. Looking to shut down what has been a potent BG attack to this point. Brown with a good fastball, good curveball. One of several pitchers that has had lots of success for the Alvirne Broncos this season. To get them to this point, 1 win away from the final. But they're going to have to do it by the comeback route if that is to happen. The storybook tournament run for Bishop Guertin very much intact as they watch Dan Brown take his warm-up throws here. Guertin coming into the tournament as the 15th seed with a 7-12 record. Were able to win their opening round game against Exeter and then blank Salem 5-0. So BG has not been scored upon since the opening round of this tournament. And then it was only 2 runs. So the Broncos are going to have to do something that neither Exeter nor Salem was able to do, and score at least 3 runs to make a game of this against this Bishop Guertin team, who are coming on strong here in June. Dan Brown is going to be working to TJ Hart, and he throws that one up. Fastball misses high. Hart struck out his first time up. Brown looking in for the sign from Rishal. Hart thought he took a little bit too long deciding on his next pitch and calls timeout. Sun is out brightly now at Holman. Brown checking on McMaster at second base, and the curveball finds the strike zone. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brown looking in for the sign. Steps off and he'll reload the signals from Rishal. Pitch is on the way. That's a curveball that stays up. Back-to-back curves from Brown. Just couldn't get on top of that one. 2 balls and 1 strike. Very lazy breeze is going out to left right now here at Holman Stadium. Pitch is on the way. That missed up and away. 3 balls and 1 strike make that as Brown pitches Hart carefully here with first base open and 2 outs in the second. 3 runs are in, all coming with 2 outs. Back-to-back doubles for Faulkner and McMaster to give the Cardinals a 3-0 lead. And Brown being careful here to the cleanup hitter for the Cardinals, TJ Hart, who's got the hitter's count at 3-1. Might have been a changeup or just a BP fastball, but it was perfectly spotted from Brown up and in on the corner. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Hart. The 3-2 pitch is on the way, topped, foul. As they go upper outer corner with the breaking ball there, Hart, not sure if that was a ball or a strike, just spoils it. Gets a bat on it, and he'll get another 3-2 pitch from Brown. Alvirne's defense straight away at all positions for Hart. Brown kicks and throws. It looked like a slider that was way outside.
Now batting, the left fielder.
And Hart draws a walk.
JT Hisco.
Hisco walked his first time up. Bishop Guertin sent 6 batters to the plate in the first inning. They have sent 8 batters to the plate so far here in the second inning. Brown checks the runner at second and comes to the plate. Hits the outside upper corner for strike 1 to Hisco. That had a lot on it from Brown. Hisco, the left fielder for the Cardinals, holds that bat high above the helmet. Awaiting the offering on 0-1 from Brown. Strike 2. Hisco might have thought that was a smidge off the plate, but Brown gets the call, and he's ahead in the count, 0-2. Dan Brown coming on in relief of Matt McKinley, who surrendered 3 runs here in the second. Brown needs 1 more strike or 1 more out to get out of this jam. Line drive lookout off an empty seat above the first base dugout, as Hisco does a good job of spoiling that outside fastball that might have caught the corner. Brown got the call the pitch before. He went right back out there. TJ Hart leads off a first, McMaster off a second. That was almost a pitch out there by Dan Brown. A good foot, 2 feet off the plate. So it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count as Brown works to JT Hisco. Big swing on a changeup, and way out in front was Hisco. So a big strikeout there by Dan Brown. 8 men come to the plate, 3 score, and that is your score, 3-0 in favor of the Bishop Guertin Cardinals as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Of course, they play 7 innings in high school baseball, so magnifies the importance of every run, every inning. That said, Alvirne still has 6 at-bats coming here, including the bottom of the second inning, going up against Dan Incropera, senior right-hander for the Bishop Guertin Cardinals. The championship game in New Hampshire Boys Division I baseball is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. on June 13. That's this coming Monday night at Northeast Delta Dental Stadium up in Manchester, where the Fisher Cats play. Beautiful venue to take in a game. It is a nice prize awaiting these 2 teams to be able to play at that venue. Holman Stadium, of course. Holman is a very well-kept, well-groomed field, but having stood on that Fisher Cat Stadium, that's Fenway-like pool table there. The infield grass is perfect, from what I remember. So Incropera working here in the bottom of the second. Very high and very deep to center. A long run for the center fielder going back and makes the catch. Jake McMaster with a Willie Mays-like sprint straight back and catches it on the run.
Dan McChrystal.
Absolutely robbing Jason Hudson. About 380 feet or more away from home plate. Jason Hudson is thinking, how hard and how far do I have to hit it? Tremendous running catch in straightaway center field. Our cameraman for today's game on Nashua TV, Frank Wallen. And maybe we should send that one to ESPN, Frank. What do you think? That was amazing. A dead run, outstretched, right in the leather. 0-2 now on Dan McChrystal, who handles the DH duties for the Broncos. Watches that one off the plate. Broncos trailing 3-0, magnifying the importance of that catch by to take the base away, or 2 or 3 bases away from the leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the second inning. 2-2 now the count on McChrystal. Right-handed batting DH for the Broncos. takes a breaking ball high, and he's worked the count back to 3-2. 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the second inning. Alvirne's fan base very vocal. Fastball misses, and the first base runner of the game for the Broncos. As the Bronco fans trying to get in the head of the BG pitcher on that 3-2 offering. Overthrew it just a bit. McChrystal is on first, and here's Dean DJ Lamoth, the first baseman for Alvirne. Right-handed batter facing Dan Encropera, who is forced to go from the stretch for the first time today with a base runner aboard. Very high to the right, and it'll probably find the concourse. It will, right in front of the concession stand here, as Lamoth airs out a swing. Got jammed a little bit. 0-1 is the count. The top seed Bedford finished the season at 15-3. They are prepping to play Dover here later at Holman in the other semifinal game. The pitch ripped down the left field line, foul. So on one hop into the bullpen and beyond. Hit very hard by Lamoth, but he was way out in front. McMaster in center is shading Lamoth just about 3 or 4 steps to the left of straightaway center. Everybody else playing big right-handed batter basically straight up. And not all that deep. I mean, McMaster is basically challenging Lamoth to hit it over his head, as he did to Hudson, and had a lot of ground to cover. I think on StatCast he probably ran 60 feet to catch that. Big swing and a miss, and Lamoth goes down.
The left fielder, number
2 outs
6,
here
Mike
in the second.
Samard.
Mike Samard, the left fielder. He made a nice running catch coming in on a ball in the second inning. Pitch misses up and away. Appreciate the home fans saying my name, and I don't know if my name's Mike. I'm hearing the fans for Alvirne. It sounds like they're seals off of the coast of San Francisco saying Mike. It might be a little distracting, but it seems only to be distracting to the pitcher, as Encropera has thrown 2 balls well out of the strike zone. Rather easy takes for Mike Samard, who's ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Big lead over at first for McChrystal. That one, another pitch way off the plate. Samard had to get out of the way of it up near his front shoulder. And it's 3 balls and no strikes. And another visit to the mound by the Bishop Guertin Cardinals, trying to settle their pitcher down a little bit. T-Bolt and Short went over there to talk to Encropera. Strike on the inside corner. Looked like just a get it over fastball on 3-0. And he gets the call. 3 balls and 1 strike to Samard. 2 outs. 3-1 pitch. Ripped to left, and it is foul. Samard jumping all over that high changeup. Hammers it wide of the line. 3 balls and 2 strikes now, so Dan McChrystal will be off with the pitch at first base with 2 outs and a full count. A key pitch upcoming here from Dan Encropera, who has just allowed his first base runner of the game via a walk, has yet to give up a hit here in the state semifinal. The 3-2 pitch is on the way, hit very high to left field. Very high and deep, and McMaster is going to call off the left fielder and make the play. Jake McMaster with 2 nice catches, one which will live on in video history to straightaway center field, robbing Jason Hudson. And so Alvirne goes scoreless in the bottom of the second inning, and it's a 3-0 Bishop Guertin lead as we go to the top of the third at Holman. Bishop Guertin will send the 6, 7, 8 hitters to the plate here in the top of the third inning. Mike Griffin hit into a fielder's choice his first time up. Scott Painter, the head coach of Bishop Guertin, has got to be thrilled with the start of this game. He's got a pitcher that has yet to surrender a hit. His team has a 3-0 lead, and they're going through the order for the second time in rapid fashion. But Dan Brown trying to change this momentum around. Blazing fastball about waist high on the inside corner, and Griffin wanted nothing to do with that. 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch on the way. Swings through that one. Might have been just a tad above the zone, but Griffin took a mighty hack and swung through it. 1-2 is the count. Brown finding the strike zone with that fastball. Dan Brown rocks and throws very high to center. Long run back there to make the play. Kyle Costro, not an easy play. A major league fly ball.
5, Alex George.
Struck by Griffin. Got a good piece of that. Looked like a high changeup. And Brown left up, and Costro ran down in deep left center field. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the third. Alex George lined out to Mike Simard in left field his first time up. A good catch on the run coming in by Simard.
Well, I told you if BG could hit,
And
they had
have.
a chance. And they drove one of the the better pitchers around who beat them the first time. They knocked him out. So they've now either beaten or knocked out every starting pitcher that they faced.
That is impressive.
In the tournament.
Clutch doubles back to back.
Question is though,
Ground ball up the middle
that's McKinley.
to his left. McKinley,
Yeah.
beautiful play. 2 up, 2 down
the
here.
question
The
is,
designated hitter,
Can
number
Incapera
22, Nick
handle the pressure of the
Slater.
Alvirne fans? Because that's going to be a factor. They're trying to get into his head, and it almost looked like they had until he comes back and retires, gets that third out. So.
And Incapera has yet to yield a hit as he works into the third inning. Right now, Dan Brown is finding his stride on the mound.
Yeah, I think when he first came in, he wasn't ready. It just takes him a little while. He'll that was the move that Mike Lee had to make. But
2 breaking balls for strikes, and Nick Slater down in the count 0-2 here, batting with 2 out, nobody on in the top of the third.
see, I don't think if they were going to make the finals that Mike Lee would have started Brown in that game. So he doesn't have to worry about the innings limit because I think they're a better team with Brown in the field.
Yeah. Now, how's the innings limit work when you
Well, it's
have
15
4 days off in between?
15 in a calendar week, and you go into the 6th inning, you need 3 days rest.
Okay. So does the calendar week end on Sunday?
Well,
Or are you talking about from the game to the game?
to the from when you
Okay.
pitch to the next time you
All right.
pitch.
So that is within a week, the championship game scheduled for 4 days from now, 5 days from now. Curveball stays inside, so the count has gone full here to Nick Slater.
They used to have a tournament limit, and they took that away.
3-2 pitches on the way. Strike 3, curveball in the heart of the zone. And looked back by Slater as if to say he thought it was up, but he gets caught looking, and Brown retires the Cardinals. 1-2-3 there in the third inning.
Which is why the move was made after the second double, but to McMaster to take out McKinley
How about that catch in center field?
by McMaster.
Off of Hudson, Jason
And
Hudson.
they have just as good a center fielder who can catch up the balls. I'll tell you who that is in a second.
For Alvirne?
Yes.
Kyle Costro?
No, for Guertin.
Oh, another one.
Oh, no, McMaster. No, that's it.
Yeah, it was
He
McMaster,
was there the other day, too. I thought they
Yeah.
had another one on the bench, but he was there the other day. McMaster tracked down some fly balls in Salem that everybody thought were going to go out. He can fly.
That reminded me, I used to watch the Boston Park League in its heyday.
Yeah.
Back there, games at Cleveland Circle when they were using those -5 aluminum bats and guys were cranking. They used to take home runs away on a regular basis because there was no fences, So you had to have tremendous outfielders who are young and great young legs to track those down.
Now, see, the key for that's it. You got to have, but you got to also have the ability to spot the ball and judge it.
Yes.
That's huge. You know?
That first step.
That first step, you've got to see where the pitch is, get off at the crack, but also be able to spot the ball and judge it.
The 8-9 one-hitters due up here for the Broncos in the bottom of the third.
What Mike Lee needs is he needs to get runners on base.
Yeah.
Because his team does not hit very well. Not a big hitting team. So they need runners on so that he can do his things and have them, run their plays. And then Caprera, he's got to know that. He's got number 9 up here. There's no reason to try to get, cute. But you know what?
Caprera has not given up a hit, but by his body language, you're almost seeing like the fact that the Bronco fans are getting to him a little bit and, taking the hat off, the shrug of the shoulders.
We'll see.
Here's a fastball for a strike.
Yeah,
we'll see.
That's the one thing
that's
the one thing they have to talk to him about in between innings, and he'll have a quick hook. They'll get somebody else in there if they need it.
The 2-1 pitch is on the way to Kurt Rischall, and that's bounced also. 3 balls and 1 strike is the count to the leadoff hitter in this inning, Curtis Rischall for the Broncos.
I'm surprised the Alvirne fans aren't louder. I would expect them to be a little bit more louder because I think that group down there to our left is a weapon for Alvirne in this game. They don't usually get that kind of fandom at their games where their field is. See, those are the pitches he should have been throwing from the start.
Yeah.
He tries to go with the off-speed stuff or tries to overthrow. That's when he gets trouble.
The 3-2 pitch is on the way. It's fisted towards center, and McMaster's right there.
That's like somebody 2 feet away from McMaster flipping it to him underhand. That's how easy that is for him.
Sweeney.
Eddie Sweeney getting his first at-bat of the game here. The 9-hitter bottom of the third inning, batting with 1 out and nobody aboard for the Broncos. 3-0. Bishop Guertin leads here in the third inning.
That's a big advantage to get that leadoff runner off base.
Every time.
Especially with Alvirne. You get the leadoff man on against Alvirne.
Ground ball right on the third base.
They have him played perfectly.
Playing in on the grass. Throw up the line a little bit.
Now batting, number 3.
Nice job of handling that by T.J. Hart to make the tag. 2 up, 2 down here in the third inning. And back to the top of the order, McKinley. Who do you have as the shortstop for Bishop Guertin? Is it Chase Blazak? Number 7? Is he getting DH'd for? Got T-ball to third. Ground ball.
I have T-ball as the shortstop.
I do too. The program has him as number 11, and third baseman's number 11, so I just got thrown off by that a little bit. T-ball's made some nice plays at short in this game. 0-1 is the count on Matt McKinley. Takes that one up high, 1-1.
Well, I don't have Blazak in the lineup.
No, I don't. I just looked at the program and I saw that number 7 is listed as Chase Blazak.
And who's at shortstop? Is it
number
7?
7, yeah.
Well, then they must have moved him.
And then he's getting DH for and T-ball's at third. Number 11.
They must have put T-ball at third.
Yeah.
I don't know who Slater's DHing for. I was told he was DHing for Alvirne.
Unless our program's wrong as far as uniform numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case.
Right. The pitch. Foul straight back to the screen.
Let's see what T-ball played last time I saw them play.
John Collins with Tom King, cameraman Frank Wallet.
T-ball played shortstop the last time he was there. So.
Executive producer is Pete Johnson. It's turned into a pleasant day for a baseball game here at Holman Stadium after some rain earlier. thinking about taking a hack at that one, but they're thinking better of it was McKinley, as that one is well above the strike zone. The count has gone full.
I see what they've done. I think they moved T.J. Hart. He's playing at first base now.
Yep. Line drive right at the second baseman. And it's 3 up, 3 down for the Broncos here in the third. Trailing 3-0 to the Cardinals, who are coming up to start the fourth inning.
All right, so T.J. Hart at first. Tebow at third.
He moved to third.
And Blazak is probably the shortstop.
Yeah.
And not hitting.
Not hitting, okay. Makes sense now.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. And you got Faulkner in right. They shuffled them around a little bit, but it's working. They have not surrendered a hit yet to Alvirne. One base runner on a walk. So an ideal first 3 innings of this game for the Cardinals, and a chance to add to it here in the top of the fourth inning. They will have their 9 1-2 hitters due up.
Everybody rallies in a high school baseball game. It's almost like an NBA game, basketball, where you know a team's going to make a run. Alvinre will make a run. So that's why it's important for Guertin. If they want to win this game, I think they're going to need more than 3 runs.
I was looking at your the game summaries of the first 2 games for Guertin. They have not given up a run since the opening round game, and in that game to Exeter, they only gave up 2.
Right.
So Alvirne's got to do something that has not been done against Bishop Guertin in this tournament, which is score 3 runs in a game if they're going to come back.
And they've got 4 innings to
do it. Brown right over the outer third with a fastball.
Now this may be Blazak.
I missed the PA announcement.
That's 7.
Yeah.
So Incapera is probably not.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They inserted him, and Incapera was on deck before that last out of the last inning. He was on deck.
He was on deck.
Yeah, so they're exercising their DH late. There's not DH, but
the third baseman, number 11,
basically
Andrew Tebow,
hitting in the pitcher's spot.
Yep.
Well, Blazak gets struck out.
But I've got Incapera with a hit, though. Didn't he hit signals
He
first
did.
time up? Yeah.
And scored
Right.
on the double by Faulkner. Tebow is up now. He doubled to begin the ball game to straightaway center. Looks at a ball outside from Brown. The 1-0 pitch is on the way. Big hook there from Brown. Finds the outer third about thigh high. 1-1. Brown mixing his pitches effectively since coming on in relief of Matt McKinley. That one is up and away. 2-1. McKinley went from the mound to shortstop and
Straight switch, Brown for McKinley, right?
switch places.
Yeah, exactly.
Ground ball top to the left side. Hudson's got it, fires across. Good strong throw. 2 up, 2 down here in the fourth.
Fielder, number 6, Tyler Faulkner.
Faulkner has sacrificed and reached on the same bunt that was bobbled by McKinley, a mistake that he didn't pay for because he was able to blank Bishop Guertin despite bases loaded in that first inning.
But boy, did they set a tone.
They did. They sent a lot of people to the plate. There's a bunt attempt, and that's going to be foul.
I'll tell you what, if I'm BG, I bunt all day on with this grass after the rain.
Yeah.
And Alvirne, I'm surprised Alvirne's not doing it. If I'm Alvirne, I would do that right away. Because nothing will rattle a team more than the bunting and trying to get the pitcher rattled and everything else. I think that's their game. Mike Lee mentioned that before the start of the tournament. You know, a lot of it may depend on who can bunt and run and do that well. And they haven't attempted it. I bet they attempt it
in the fourth inning,
well,
bottom
the next
four
couple of innings. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm surprised they didn't do it last inning when they had the bottom of the order up. You know,
They will have the 2, 3, 4 hitters up.
4 hitters up. I don't know if they'll try. They might try with the number 2 hitter, and then that puts one of their better hitters, Danny Brown, at the plate, along with Hudson and McChrystal.
Brown's 2-1 breaking ball missed low. Here comes the 2-1 pitch.
First, we got to get there first.
Line
right?
drive, base hit to right center.
He's going to go two.
He's going to try it. Throw from the right fielder will not be in time. A stand-up double with 2 outs.
The fourth double
fielder,
of the game for Bishop
second
Guertin.
for Faulkner.
Master.
Faulkner going right back to the well to right center field. He had an 2 RBI double out there earlier.
Amazing.
2 outs, man at second in scoring position for the 3-hitter McMaster, who doubled his last time up. Hard hit ground ball.
Oh.
Glove by McKinley. Strong throw on the mark.
That's big.
Big play. That retires the side. So the 2-out double does not cost Alvirne. Nice play by the shortstop.
Snow
Gets
cone for
McMaster.
McKinley, though. Did you see that? The ball was just on the edge of the glove.
It's kind of a reach, but he made the play. A good strong throw across the diamond. So we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Bishop Guertin leading this game 3-0. It's the New Hampshire Boys Division I state semifinal. BG against Alvirne. BG coming into this after finishing the regular season in 15th place, making a tremendous run here deep into the tournament. The game after this one features the number 1 seed,
Your attention,
Bedford
please.
against
Now
Dover.
playing first base
That'll
for
be
the
a good
Cardinals,
game.
number 35, T.J. Hart, and at third base, Andrew Tebow.
I took a peek at how the teams did against the other semifinal teams. BG beat Dover on May 9, 7-2, and lost to Bedford
And at
3-2
shortstop,
on May
number
3rd.
7, Chase Blazak.
Alvirne lost to both of the teams in tonight's game. They lost to
Lost to Bedford on the last day of the regular
6-0
season.
the last
Yep.
day of the season, correct.
Right.
Leading
And,
off the
lost to
Broncos,
Dover.
the second
On
baseman,
April 15,
number
they lost
1,
Dover
Pat
8-3.
Rossio.
So
One
all
game
these teams
deal,
have
you know?
respect for each other,
Yeah,
no
it's a
question.
one-game
It's a
deal,
one-game
you know,
deal,
and
anything can
that's why-
happen.
Now, next year, John, Guertin won't be able to make the tournament if they finish in the 15th seed, because I believe they're only going to take 12. They're going back to 12 next year.
I see.
Yep.
Wow, they could. This run wouldn't have been possible for a 15
No, it
seed
wouldn't.
next year.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah. 1-0 is the count on Pat Rossio, the 2-hitter for Alvirne. Fly to center his first time up. Big bender misses low, 2-0. And a quick visit to the mound on a 2-0 count. Scott Painter going out to talk to his pitcher.
Well, you got to nip it in the bud.
Is that Scott?
Yeah,
Number
that's Scott
32?
right
Yeah.
now, 32.
His assistants are T.J. Sheedy and Dylan Mullen.
He saw something that he didn't like, and
Yeah.
also wanted to go out and
The
make
psychological game, maybe?
Sure. Yeah, I think he wants
Yeah.
to make sure. Calm down.
Yeah.
Just pitch, just throw strikes. You were doing it the first 3 innings. You know.
Alvirne head coach Mike Lee, assisted by Sean Brown
As
and
you
Scott
can tell,
Susta.
Incapera is he's emotional. He's got some emotion in him.
Yeah.
So that's somebody that they have to handle and settle down. Not as much emotion as that Kansas City Royals pitcher last night.
Oh boy.
He was a nut.
Ventura?
Ventura's
Yeah.
He's a nut. They're gonna have to. Baseball's gonna have to do something about him,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be difficult with the collective bargaining agreement.
Hard hit toward the hole. Tricky hop. It's going to be a hit for Rossio. Leading off here in the 4th. A big hit, the first of the game for the Broncos, trailing 3-0.
Brown.
So Dan Brown, who got caught looking his first time up on a borderline strike call, batting for the second time in this game. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning, Rossio with a decent lead off of first. Ground ball, hard hit. The second baseman handcuffed him for a second to second for 1. Safe at first. The little bobble cost the double play as Brown's foot speed stays out of the twin
The
killer.
third baseman, number 5, Jason Hudson.
Mike Griffin flipping it to Blazak, and the hot shot handcuffed Griffin just a moment there to delay the double play just enough so that Brown could beat out the back end. So 1 out and a man on first for the Broncos. And the batter is Jason Hudson. Was that behind his head? He didn't flinch, but it looked like Alex George caught that ball right behind the helmet of Jason Hudson. Hudson, who crushed the ball to straightaway center field, his first and only time up. Only have Jake McMaster go back and catch it in one of the greatest running catches to straightaway center you will see in a ball game. A 1-0 pitch is on the way now to Hudson. Thought about it, but it's above the zone. So it's 2 balls and no strikes. Brown with the lead off of first. Has good speed, as you saw. Doesn't go. Looked like a changeup that missed outside, and it's 3-0 as Incropera is pitching Hudson exceedingly carefully after that display of power his first time up. Nothing close to a strike yet. That one is in the outer third of the zone. And it's 3-1. It looked like Jason was taking the pitch all the way. 3-0. Bishop Guertin nursing a substantial lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Brown's off with the pitch, and it's fouled over our left shoulder. Hudson with a healthy cut at that 3-1 offering. It might have been another changeup up in the zone. And he just got under it a little bit. But it serves as strike 2 for Incropera, who has been tough, surrendering just 1 hit and 1 walk to this point in the game, leading 3-0. As he gets his sign from Alex George, Incropera throws to first, letting Brown know he's there, that he knows he's there. Brown was off with the pitch on 3-1. Let's see if he goes on 3-2 as well. The 3-2 is on the way. Up and in, ball 4. Hudson walks.
The designated hitter, number 9, Dan McChrystal.
And Alvirne gets the tie run to the plate with 1 out here in the 4th. Dan McChrystal walked his first time up. McChrystal is the designated hitter for the Broncos. Strike called on the inside corner. A straight one well placed by Incropera. Gets ahead in the count quickly. Dan Brown leads off the second. Hudson off of first. The pitch to McChrystal. Swung on and missed. 0-2. Ball got loose a little bit, but nowhere near far away enough for Brown to think about risking it. 3 runs on 5 hits for the Cardinals. No runs, just the 1 hit for the Broncos. The 0-2 pitch to Dan McChrystal not coming yet. Shadows just beginning to creep out in front of home plate. Not a factor for the batters as yet. The pitch on the way, blocked. There goes Brown. They thought about throwing to second, or no? George just lets them take the bases, and 2 runners now in scoring position for the Broncos. Good aggressive base running by Dan Brown. He seemed to be in motion just before that ball hit the dirt on his way to third base. And George didn't even think about taking a shot at third. So 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count to McChrystal. Hard hit at the shortstop. 1 run is going to score. Throw to first base in time. There's a second out. Alvirne is on the board with their first run of the game. An RBI ground out by Dan McChrystal. Jason Hudson moves up to third base. Dan Brown scores Alvirne's first run of the game here in the 4th inning. 2 outs. A key spot for DJ Lamoth with a potential second run just 80 feet away now. Hits it to left, and it's going to be right at the left fielder. Seemed to be off the end of the bat. And JT Hisco was right there, just a few steps to his left to make the two-handed catch. So Alvirne leaves a runner at third after 4 full innings of play. The score is Bishop Guertin 3 and Alvirne 1. So that inning was a bit of a struggle for Dan Cropera, but he limited the damage to 1 run through the heart of the Alvirne order. And we will go to the top of the 5th. Bishop Guertin 2 runs ahead and looking for more here as JT Hart will lead it off for the Cardinals. Let's see where they are in the order. 4, 5, 6 hitters due up. JT Hart, TJ Hart, JT Hisco. You got to reverse those initials. And then Mike Griffin. Due up for the Cardinals here on Nashua ETV. You can watch any of our games anywhere, anytime, online at nashua.easystream.com. That goes for all sports, of course. Thanks to the Nashua High South Athletic Director, Nashua Athletic Director Nate Mazarol for helping us with our setup today and here at Holman Stadium. Nashua playing host to this tournament, although there are no South or North teams in this doubleheader, this state semifinal doubleheader. Nashua High Athletics making sure everything runs smoothly here at Holman Stadium. Dan Brown now working to TJ Hart. Ground ball over the mound, slowly hit. McKinley runs in, and a headfirst dive beats it. A nice scoop made by DJ Lamoth at first base. TJ Hart, you wouldn't know it to look at him. He's a big body, but he got down the line. The headfirst dive makes it an infield single to lead off the 5th inning. Every out, every at bat precious here in the state tournament where it's one and done, single elimination. Always that key ingredient to a successful inning is getting that leadoff runner aboard, and nobody knew that any better than TJ Hart with that headfirst dive, getting the uniform dirty and getting on base for his team here and for JT Hisco, who's batting for the 3rd time in this game. He's walked and struck out in 2 plate appearances. Brown peeking over his left shoulder. The bunt play is on, and the pitch misses up and away. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Jason Hudson, the 3rd baseman for Alvirne, with the hard charge down the 3rd base line. It'll be interesting to see where Hisco places this bunt. Probably wants to go first base side. Good move by Brown. A late turn and dive back to the bag by Hart, but he wasn't all that far away from the bag, and that helped him get back in safely. 1 ball, 1 strike is the count to Hisco. Brown with a big heave of breath, and then he fires it to the plate and gets the strike call. Hisco looking back at the umpire as if to say, yeah, you sure about that one? 1 and 2. Kind of a modest lead over there by Hart after nearly getting picked off. This time he goes back in standing up, and Brown checking in on the BG base runner. If you're fast enough to get an infield hit, you're probably fast enough to get a stolen base with a decent jump. Well outside. That was almost like a pitch out there on 1 and 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bishop Guertin has 6 hits in this game, including the infield hit that you just saw from TJ Hart. Mike Griffin is on deck for the Cardinals. The runner does go. Ground ball softly hit back to the pitcher. Brown has 1 play and he makes it. And there's 1 out with a runner in scoring position.
Baseman, number 3, Mike Griffin.
I don't know if that was probably not a hit and run with 2 strikes on the batter, but it served to move the runner over to have him in motion. That was a play you're probably only going to get 1 on, but if the runner had not been stealing, Brown could have gone to second base to get the lead runner. Instead, Hart is in scoring position. Griffin takes a slow bender on the outside corner for a strike. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Griffin has hit into a fielder's choice and fly to center in 2 trips previous. Line drive, base hit right field. The runner is going to be sent. The throw is not going to be in time. Hart scores the 4th run of the game for the Cardinals. Another clutch hit for Bishop Guertin. This one off the bat of Mike Griffin, going the other way with the fastball. And Hart, with a great read from second, was flying around third all the way. An RBI single for Griffin. Still the 1 out. Now the batter's Alex George, who's lined to left and grounded to short. Dan Brown working to Curtis Rishaw. Line drive, base hit's going to go over the left fielder. Tried for a diving play, and he's going to turn this into possibly a run. Bishop Guertin's going to send the runner, and Griffin's going to score. A misplay in left. Simard trying to do too much, basically.
Number 22.
On a sinking line drive, was sort of off the end of the bat. It didn't have the kind of carry where it would get to the left fielder, and it bounced over the head of Simard as he was on the turf. Third base coach waving Griffin home with the game's 5th run for the Cardinals. They lead 5-1 here in the 5th inning. Curveball in there for a strike. And back into scoring position, another BG player, this time Alex George with the big hit. Swung on and missed. 0-2 now on Nick Slater. Slater has walked and scored and struck out looking. 2 runs in the inning. It began with an infield single, a hustle, diving infield single by TJ Hart. Ground ball, 1 hop. Rausio to first. That's the 2nd out of the inning. Ball came up hard and almost in between, but Rausio very sure-handedly gobbled that one up. Runner goes over to third base with 2 outs. You would think that Alvirne cannot afford to go down any more runs if they have hopes of coming from behind in this game. Big curveball stays up. Ball 1. Chase Blazak. Is he batting for the 2nd time? Yeah, 2nd time in 2 innings. He led off the 4th with a strikeout. Fastball in there on 2-0 for 2-1. Looked like Blazak was taking that pitch all the way. Batting in the spot that was occupied by Incropera, the pitcher in today's game. That one missed, or it hit the outside corner, excuse me. 2-2 is the count as Brown works to the 9-hitter, Chase Blazak. Ground ball, hard hit at the third baseman. Hudson has it, fires across the diamond, perfect throw. 3 out, but not before Bishop Guertin plates 2 more and take a 5-1 lead over the Broncos of Alvirne. We go to the bottom of the 5th. The score, BG 5 and the Broncos 1. A single elimination state tournament semifinal game. Can Alvirne come back? Can BG bar the door? We'll find out coming up on Nashua ETV. Stay with us. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Mike Simard will get the leadoff duty here for the Broncos, trailing 5-1 in this state semifinal game. It's the bottom of the 5th, meaning Alvirne's just got 3 more at bats as a team in the 5th, 6th, and 7th to make this comeback. But it's a dream scenario if you're a Bishop Guertin player or fan to be up 5-1 with this kind of pitching going on. from Dan Incropera. Line drive, base hit to center. That's only the second hit of the game for the Broncos.
The catcher, number
Simard
8,
nailing one
Rashawn.
right over the pitcher's shoulder into center. And Jake McMaster, good as he is in center, is not going to be able to catch that one before it hits the ground. So leadoff batter aboard for the Broncos. Curtis Rishall is up there. And Cropera checking on the runner at first. Very modest lead by Simard, very conservative, down by 4 as you would imagine. Back easily. And Cropera has given up 2 hits, 1 run. Misses up with the pitch. 1 ball and no strikes. Number 8, Kurt Rishall, the senior catcher, has flied out to center. It's only his second at bat. Breaking ball, maybe a change, finds the top of the zone. 1-1 is the count. Bright sunshine now here at Holman Stadium. And Cropera gets the sign, checks the runner out of the corner of his eye. Fisted towards center. It's going to be an easy catch for McMaster. 1
The
out.
right fielder, number 18, Eddie Sweeney.
Scott Painter to the mound. Almost a visit per inning now for Incropera, who is motoring right along here. He's got 1 out, man at first, the 9-hitter up. Eddie Sweeney grounded to third his first time up. Of course, the Cardinals would love nothing more than to turn a double play here and get out of the inning quickly. Alvirne looking to grind out an inning, get some base runners and get some runs. Trailing by 4, 5-1 here in the 5th inning. Dan Incropera, the pitcher, is working the catcher Alex George. TJ Hart, the first baseman, holding Simard close with 1 out. The pitch. Strike called. Outside corner, just above the knees to Sweeney, who's checking with his coach Mike Lee down at third. The 0-1 pitch is on the way from Incropera. Topped foul to the on-deck circle. Bobby Valentine, the 1-year former manager of the Red Sox, of course the famous Mets manager and as knowledgeable as they come in baseball, claims that once a game a batter will foul a ball between his legs without touching either foot, and that may have been one of those instances. Just missed, and you could see the umpire's whole body debating that pitch as he stood. Just a hint of a flinch of that right arm, but did not come up. Fortunately for Eddie Sweeney, he is still up there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Incropera's pitch on the way, high in the infield. Griffin is calling for it. And Blazak actually makes the catch. I think Griffin's saying, didn't I say I got it?
McKinley.
Blazak still caught it. Of course, the shortstop is the captain of the infield, and had that ball hit the ground, they could have had a play at second anyway. So low pressure catch there with 1 out. Now there's 2 outs, and back to the top of the order. McKinley has grounded to short and lined out to the second baseman. He showed bunt. Pitch missed up and away. I don't know if Matt was actually going to go through with that. Leadoff batter, you would imagine he has his share of bunt hits in the season. The 1-0 pitch is on the way from Incropera, and that hits the inside corner. Mixing the slow one away and the fastball in. makes it a 1-1 count. Alvirne trailing 5-1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning of a 7-inning game. Line drive center field, and McMaster back maybe 3 or 4 steps, puts it away. And another scoreless inning in the books for Dan Incropera and the Bishop Guertin Cardinals. We go to the top of the 6th, and BG leads it 5-1. Guertin will send to the plate in the top of the 6th inning, the top of the order. Tebow, Faulkner, and McMaster. What a tournament run this Bishop Guertin Cardinals team has made. Low expectations coming in as the 15 seed. NHIAA going to be tweaking the playoff format next season to allow only the top 12 to get in. So, you know, the thinking there being that 15, 16 is too many. And yet, here we have a team on the cusp of going to the final, the Bishop Guertin Cardinals, who finished the season at 7-12 and just found their true identity in the playoffs, winning the opening round game over Exeter 6-2, and then blanking Salem 5-0. Right now they've surrendered just the 1 run to the Broncos
11,
with 2 innings left to be played. Andrew Tebow doubled to center field, straightaway center to begin the ball game. Grounded out to the first baseman and grounded out to third. He's batting for the 4th time this afternoon in that leadoff spot. Always a good sign for your offense when you can spin the order that much in a 7-inning game. Takes a first pitch curve for a strike. Second pitch curve is just over the head with Rousseau going with the pitch. Tebow, and he's a leadoff batter aboard for the Cardinals. That is hit number 9 for Bishop Guertin. The hit parade continues. Matt McKinley started the game for Alvirne. Dan Brown in relief. The Cardinals finding a way to get people on base all day. And this inning, no exception. Showing sacrifices, Faulkner, the 2-hitter, pulls it back with Jason Hudson a handshake away at third, charging down the line. It looked like a fake bunt there by Faulkner. Let's see if he goes through with it here after taking the first pitch for a ball. Brown's throw just to check on Tebow has a very modest lead over there at first. Shadows working their way out to the halfway point between home plate and the mound here at Holman. Pitch hammered through the hole. Base hit to left, first and second for the Cardinals. So they pass up the bunt for the 2-hitter, and everything's going right for the Cardinals right now. That's double digits in hits, number 10, and Jake McMaster, who has 1 of 4 doubles on the game for the Cardinals. The 3-hitter with a great opportunity. A playoff game, first and second, nobody out. You would think bunt. However, McMaster with a ton of power and the 3-hitter, and they did not make the 2-hitter bunt. So the guess is here they're going to let McMaster swing away with a 4-run lead and see if they can do some more damage. Yeah, it looks like Sean Brown wants to talk things over with son Dan, and of course Dan's brother Tyler playing for Northeastern.
Wow. I told you again, good hit. 10 hits.
10 hits.
Never would have thought that.
Solid hits for the most part.
No doubt about it. These aren't cheapies. They are hitting the ball hard.
The only one cheapie was a hustle infield single to lead off this inning by TJ Hart.
TJ Hart when he slid to first.
Yeah, and that was a big play because, as you know, getting that leadoff batter aboard is huge.
Exactly. And Alvirne has not been able to get the offense. It's the story of the game. They haven't been able to get the offense.
Incropera, even though he's looked.
Incropera should be. I mean, he's looked like he
harried and rattled at times.
Yeah.
Look at the scoreboard. 2 hits.
Can't shake it.
No. So first and second for the Cardinals, a conference on the mound. Dan Brown working to the 3-hitter, Jake McMaster. Bishop Guertin with the luxury of the 4-run lead. If it was a tie game, a 1-run game, McMaster might be laying one down here, but maybe not now. The pitch. Bunts it for a hit. Way foul, though. McMaster squared late. Had he found the grass on the left side, only the pitcher, Brown, would have had a play, because Jason Hudson, thinking along with us, did not expect the sacrifice from McMaster, and he was playing back. And in fact, Hudson is still back, playing for a double play in effect at third. The 0-1 pitch is on the way. No. Brown swings it around. The inside move to second, and very short lead out there for Tebow. McMaster has grounded to third and short and doubled. Hits it to right, a sinking line drive in the sun. Nice catches made out there in right field.
Baseman, number 35,
Eddie Sweeney.
T.J. Hart.
Not an easy play in the sun field in right, and everybody stays put on top of it. It's almost like Tebow got caught by surprise that ball was caught, because that's a long throw to make from right field to get the guy at third. You would think maybe you want to tag up and go, but everybody stays put. Great play by Sweeney in right. 1 out. That's paint on the outside corner to T.J. Hart. Hart has struck out, walked, and singled and scored in that aforementioned last inning when he hustled out an infield hit. Fists one down the line, foul. It got way in on the hands of T.J. Hart, above the label perhaps, but foul all the way. 0-2 is the count on the cleanup hitter for the Cardinals. BG has really hit the ball today. It started with their leadoff hitter T-Ball, who blasted one to straightaway center for a double. Brown checking the runner at second, comes to the plate, well up and away. On 0-2, that's exactly where Rishal had set up, so it was kind of an easy take for Hart. Five runs, 10 hits for the Cardinals, looking to add to it. High pop-up in the infield. The fly rule is in effect. Batter automatically out as Dean Lamoth gloves it.
Number 27, J.T. Hisco.
So Hart retired, and J.T. Hisco, with his 4th plate appearance of this game, has walked, struck out, and grounded to the pitcher. 2 outs now. Still runners on first and second after the line out to right and the pop out to the first baseman. Guertin looking for insurance runs. Big swing and a miss as Hisco came unhinged on a slow breaker up and away. Brown peering in for the sign. And the pitch well off the plate with the fastball. Danny Brown might have to squint a little bit more than usual to see the signs right now, as he is in the bright sunshine and Rishal crouched in the shadows behind home plate. The 1-1 pitch is on the way. Strike called. Brilliant curveball. Goes through the front door and froze Hisco. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count now on the left fielder for the Bishop Guertin Cardinals. Holds that bat high over the helmet. Is that Mark Trumbo-esque, maybe? Two balls and 2 strikes. Is that missed up? Andrew Tebow leads off a second. Tyler Faulkner off of first base. Dan Brown gets the sign. The 2-2 pitch is on the way. Topped foul. Wide of the bag. Brown went to the curveball again. Dan Brown came on in relief in the second inning. Starting pitcher Matt McKinley surrendered 3, was in trouble. Brown has thrown a lot of pitches since coming into the game. Delivers up and in. Count's gone full. The runners will be off with the pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Five-1 lead for Guertin. Looking for more here. Nope, the runners are not off with the pitch because Dan Brown faked it. Let's see if he could get a all too aggressive T-ball, maybe a break early. Wasn't buying. 3-2 pitch is on the way. Runners go, topped foul. Scott Painter, the head coach of Bishop Guertin. Mike Lee, head coach of Alvirne. Both teams worked very hard to get to this point. The state semifinal game. 2 outs, top of the 6th. Bases loaded, 3-2 count. The foul off to the right. Just over the fence, and DJ Lamont takes a minimal foam barrier in the chest. I mean, that was a tantalizing pop-up. Maybe if you're there and you're hanging over it, you might be able to reach that, a big, tall kid like Lamoth, but that's just cruel to make you run 60 feet and crash into the barrier like that. Not surprised that he did that, but. Breaking ball, strike 3. Dan Brown reaches into his back pocket and pulls out a magic trick of a curveball right through the front door. Definitely caught or froze the hitter and definitely caught the inside corner with that pitch. However, although Alvirne is able to throw up a 0 in that inning, they still trailed by 4 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning here at Holman Stadium. Bishop Guertin with a 5-1 lead, and Dan Encroper back out there. What a pitch. What a game this pitcher has thrown. DI. Getting it done. Doing it for Bishop Guertin. Nice throw on the coming down from Alex George.
Broncos,
so leading off,
one,
Pat Rossio will lead off for the Broncos. He is the 2-hitter in the order, followed by Dan Brown and Jason Hudson. The big hitters for Alvirne are up there, needing runs. Might have been a changeup that missed low. 1 ball and no strikes. Rousio might be taking the first strike in this at-bat, down by 4 runs. Hits the first strike he sees, long run, but McMaster again on cruise control in deep left center field.
Dan Brown.
Runs it down. We're seeing some quality center field play in this game. Dan Brown has struck out, reached on a fielder's choice, and scored Alvirne's only run of the game. Brown, an excellent left-handed hitter. He's got one primary thought in mind here, and that's get on base. Takes a change up for strike 1. See the right fielder for Bishop Guertin shielding his eyes out there. The curveball is inside and in the dirt. Ball 1. Tyler Faulkner has to contend with the sun in his eyes and on the same angle as Brown would likely strike one of these balls from home plate. One hopper off the end of the bat. Guertin to first. 2 up, 2 down for the Broncos here in the 6th inning.
Baseman, number 5, Jason Hudson.
It appeared that Incropera stuck with the off speed, the change-ups to Brown got him out ahead. So 2 outs, nobody on base. Jason Hudson is up there. In a game in which Alvirne has been frustrated at the plate, Hudson struck the mightiest blow, and it was also an out because of the great play in center by McMaster, who just turned around and ran about 60 feet and caught the ball in a dead run, about waist-high, arm extended in his glove, running straight toward that 401 mark earlier in the game. And that set a tone of keeping the Broncos off the bases. 1-1 is the count to the Broncos' third baseman, Jason Hudson. Ground ball, third baseman has it. T-ball's throw bounces. Great play by J.T. Hart. He just got down low and caught it about face high. 1, 2, 3 go the Broncos in the 6th inning. Bishop Guertin has been tremendous pitching and defense in this tournament. They have 1 inning to go to earn a berth in the final in Manchester on Monday night.
I can't begin to know, but then I know it's great.
Top of the 7th we go, and Mike Griffin gets leadoff duty for the Bishop Guertin Cardinals. The second baseman for BG. Fouls it right over our heads into the facade of the luxury booths and ends up down low. Pitching and defense, the Cardinals have been immense in this tournament.
Boy, it's done the job for them, hasn't it? You know, I think that they
have surrendered 3 runs in 3 games to this point.
The only thing is, when you get runners at first and second, nobody out, you've got to do something. And it just seems like that's not the case anymore.
Five, 3. 1-2 is the count. Dan Brown working to Pat Griffin.
Alvirne
make that Mike Griffin. Sorry.
Alvirne hasn't been able to run their people, and I'm surprised Guertin didn't try something in the first inning, or in the previous inning with the first and second, and nobody out. You know. So press box gets a little crowded up here for NHIAA events, doesn't it?
Yep. Get some overlap of games going on too.
Ground
ball to the shortstop. Nice strong throw by McKinley. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the 7th.
The catcher,
a 7-inning game, of course.
Alex George.
That's right. Alvarez got 3 outs left in their season, possibly. Let's see the nerves that Guertin will have to close it out if they can and get to their first final since 2006.
Alex George has a double in 3 plate appearances in this game. He's also lined out to left and grounded to short. BG able to spin the order 4 times in this game. Brown's pitch misses. 2-0 is the count. Golfed opposite field.
Tough sun.
Eddie Sweeney, nice play.
That's the thing. If Alvirne goes the opposite way, Guertin hasn't really had to make many plays out in the right field.
Yeah. Sweeney's done well with 2 balls hit into the sun out there, the sun field and right.
Right. So
2 out.
The question is, Ken Faulkner. He's out there, I think, isn't he?
Is he?
For Guertin.
Oh, you're right. It is Faulkner. Sorry.
Yeah, for Guertin when he's out there. Can he?
Guertin. Yeah.
Can he do the same thing? That's the question.
All right. He needs to be tested though. That at bat for Dan Brown, and Cropper was able to get him way out in front on a changeup one hopper to the second baseman instead of a line drive to right. It's part of the Incropra's well-pitched game, getting some of Alvirne's best hitters off balance still late in this one. 2-0 is the count on Nick Slater, the designated hitter for the Cardinals, has walked, struck out, and grounded to second. He's also scored a run. Gets jammed, fouls one off the third base dugout. First base dugout.
Right.
So 2-1 is the count. Dan Brown going from the windup. Nobody on, 2 outs here in the 7th. Swung on and missed, 2-2.
If Alvirne can come back and win, Brown will get a lot of credit for what he's done on the mound, even though he gave up 2 runs in that 1 inning. Those 2 runs are huge, John. I'll tell you, a 5-1 lead versus going into the 7th with a 3-1 lead.
Right.
Unless you can add to it here.
Yeah.
Ooh, against Alvirne, where they run the bases very well.
Yep.
And the thing is I've been down on the field trying to take photos and coming back up and going back down because Alvirne hasn't gotten anybody on, and when they have had them on, they haven't been able to get enough leeway to run, and no one's run on the bases. It's been incredible.
Curveball misses.
Number 7.
Slater
Chase
walks
Blazak.
with 2 outs. BG has a runner aboard, and Chase Blazak will hit for the 3rd time since coming on
And we'll get a pinch runner.
in Incropra's spot in the batting order. Two outs. Runner aboard at first base. Number 19 is the pinch runner, Jake Fahey, a senior outfielder, getting some playing time in this one.
May run.
BG certainly can afford to gamble up by 4 runs with 2 out. Fahey with a healthy lead off of first. He will go. Taking the pitch, it's called a strike, and the throw is up the second base side. Fahey steals the bag. In scoring position with 2 outs for Blazak. Dover baseball team, the Bedford baseball team, and their coaching staffs are all here, awaiting to take the field after this one for the other state semifinal game. Fastball misses up and away. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Blazak in the driver's seat here with a hitter's count. An opportunity to plate BG's 6th run to go with 10 hits. That must have been low. 3-0 is the count.
To number 9.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to face T-Bone, who's 2 for 4. So I think you want to put this one right down Broadway if you're Dan Brown.
And with that 5-1 lead, if ever you're going to give your 9-hitter a green light, it's the time, and he hits it to right center. It's going to get down for a run. What a job on 3-0. And I got to say, Tom, that's actually smart baseball.
It is.
He's going to get a room service pitch down the middle.
Gotta let him swing.
And you're up by 4 runs.
Right.
6-1. BG pounding the nails in here in the top of the 7th inning. The pinch runner, Fahey, steals the base, and the 9-hitter, Blazak, comes up with a clutch single, the 11th hit of the game for the Cardinals, who lead 6-1. The pitch on the outside corner to Andrew Tebow, who's batting for the 5th time in this 7-inning game.
How about that, huh? I know it.
He is 2 for 4. A double and a single. This is a 2-out rally by the Cardinals. Very high to center. Rostro has it for the out that ends the inning, but not before BG plates another insurance run, and they lead it by 5, 6-1 entering the 7th and possibly the final frame. And let's see who BG sends out to the mound. Who else?
Oh, go with the starter. Have to.
And
He's done the
Kropra,
job.
who's throwing a 2-hitter to this point, going back to the mound here for the bottom of the 7th, and a chance to send his team to the finals, to send his 15th ranked team all the way to the big dance, which will be Monday night at Delta Dental Stadium in Manchester, home of the Fisher Cats. That's a 7:30 contest. Make your plans. I'm not sure what the forecast is. We had a very unsettled day earlier today with some rain that delayed the start of this one, but the rain a distant memory now. It's sunny and cool here. It's actually jacket weather for the folks who are seated in the shade around the bowl here at Holman Stadium. It's probably about 15 degrees warmer out in the sun, but I can't tell you because it's been a while since we've been outside. Press box.
Leading off for the Broncos, the designated hitter.
Here we go.
Number 9, Dan McChrystal.
Dan McChrystal will lead it off for the Broncos here in the bottom of the 7th.
Biggest thing is the 1 out. Get the 1 out. Get that first out. Take the pressure off a little bit.
5, 6, 7 hitters due up for the Broncos,
It's a
trailing by 5.
5-run lead.
Ground ball, first pitch swinging. T-ball's throw is
And they
perfect.
got it.
1 up, 1 pitch, 1 down.
The first baseman, number 21, DJ Lamoth.
DJ Lamoth batting now. Alvirne High School with a great season, making it to the semifinal, but running into this hot pitching, hot defense, hot hitting Bishop Guertin team. Some of the seniors on the Alvirne roster possibly playing in their last game here this evening in the high school careers at Holman Stadium. The batter that's at the plate right now, Dean Lamoth, is a junior. More baseball to be played for DJ. Looks at a strike. He's down on the count 0-2. The seniors are Matt McKinley, Jason Hudson, Mike Samard, Dan Brown, Curtis Rishall, and Dylan Quinlan. Congratulations on representing your school very well. Lamoth dumps one into right field for a base hit. Gets over the head of the right fielder, and Lamoth's going to cruise into second. No need to try for third, down by 5. Lamoth with a double, the first extra base hit of the game for the Broncos.
The left
Third
fielder,
overall.
Number 6, Mike Samar.
Mike Samard, the batter, has singled and fly to center. Dan Kropra has gone the distance for the Cardinals, operating with 1 out and 1 on here in the bottom of the 7th. Enjoying a 5-run lead, he plunks Samard right in the middle of the numbers. First and second now for the Broncos.
The catcher, number 8, Curtis Rishall.
Curtis Rishall, the catcher, due to hit here, and it looks like Scott Painter may be making a pitching change, as he's asked a lot of Dan Kropra. Kropra has given him a lot, more than anyone could have imagined, really. Barring a shutout, he's given up the 1 run on only 3 hits, and he comes out to a very loud and well-deserved ovation by Bishop Guertin teammates and their fans. DI did it.
Your attention, please.
Going
now pitching for the
6
Cardinals.
and a third
Number
innings,
35,
and
TJ Hart.
leaving TJ Hart with a 5-run lead to work with and an out here in the 7th. Despite plunking the last batter that he faced, a tremendous pitching performance by Bishop Guertin's Dan Incropera, who is a senior. Other seniors on the Cardinals: Keenan Dwyer, Mike Harney, Mike Griffin, Anthony Giannini, Jake McMaster. Tremendous game today in center field. Chris Fisher, Andrew Tebow, and Chad Alvirne, Jake Fahey, who stole a base and scored a run. JT Hisco and TJ Hart. TJ and JT also figuring prominently in this game. The 6-1 lead that Bishop Guertin has now is TJ Hart taking his warm-up tosses. As Red Sox fans know, even with the best of teams, closers, there are certain games where you might not have all of your best stuff or your best control. Of course, they wouldn't be the ace closers if those types of games happened often. They don't happen often, that's why they're in that spot. But that's one thing that Alvirne could maybe hope for here, that it takes Hart a few pitches or a few batters to get on track. We'll see what happens. 8-9 hitters due to face TJ Hart. Barring a double play, Rishal has fly to center twice. He twisted away from that and it missed him by an inch. Or it would have been bases loaded on a hit by pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. Low. I think I heard that bounce off the plate. Gloved by George. 2 balls and no strikes. TJ Hart checks the runner and the pitch. Strike called inside corner. Pitching to contact is what TJ Hart is doing here. Not wanting to walk anybody, certainly not wanting to hit anybody. Leading by 5. The 2-1 pitch is on the way. That's low and in, and George has to scamper after it. The base runners for Alvirne will be playing very conservatively, understandably so, down by 5 here with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. The count is 3-1 on Rishal. I would imagine he might be taking all the way here. Ball 4. It missed up and away, so
The right fielder, number 18, Ed Sweeney.
as you may have heard me say, you put your ace closer in, no guarantee they're going to be on track right away. Advantage for the team trying to make a comeback, in this case Alvirne. Bases loaded, 1 out. Going to be a pinch runner here. As trotting down to first base is Cole Zimmerman, a freshman. Cole Zimmerman into the game in the tournament.
Pinch running for the Broncos, number 19, Cole Zimmerman.
Curtis Rishal coming out. So congratulations to Cole Zimmerman for making an appearance as a freshman in this state tournament semifinal game. There's a fastball taken at the letters for strike 1. Eddie Sweeney is the batter. Bases loaded. TJ Hart coming right down Broadway after issuing the walk. Misses very high to Sweeney. The Alvirne fan base being heard from here as they're encouraging Hart to walk a run in potentially. And of course, one thing on TJ's mind is throw strikes. 1-1 pitch. Nearly caught the jersey of Eddie Sweeney. Missed up and in. Scott Painter started to make a mound visit and turns around and he's having a conversation with his assistant coaches over there. And decides not to go out there. 2 balls and 1 strike. The count on Sweeney. Hart's pitch in the dirt. Here comes the runner. Somewhat of a risky move by Dean Lamont, but he scores Alvirne's second run of the game. And the base runners move up 90 feet, second and third. Of course, the key run here in the bottom of the seventh has yet to come out of the dugout, because it'll be the on-deck hitter who would represent the fourth and tying run. Strike call, top of the zone, draws some groans and shouts of disagreement from the Alvirne fans, but the count has gone full to Eddie Sweeney. 3 balls, 2 strikes. TJ Hart gets the sign. Throws over the head of Sweeney, who walks to load the bases. Alvirne High School came into this game the 5th seed. Bishop Guertin the 15th seed. The game has been all Bishop Guertin to this point, but looking very uncomfortable right now is TJ Hart, bent over at the waist and looking like he may be in a little bit of either discomfort or pain. And Scott Painter is visiting with his closer to see what the story is and whether he has to go to the bullpen. Nobody has warmed up at all for Bishop Guertin. It looks like it's going to be TJ Hart all the way, unless he has to take himself off the mound. And it looks like he will take himself out, and it'll be Chase Blazak pitching the final outs of this game. It looks like it'll be Blazak, unless Painter's going to take the ball from him. Nope. Number 7, Chase Blazak to the mound in relief, and I do mean relief because it looked like a very uncomfortable outing for TJ Hart on the mound there. He nearly
Your attention,
hit.
please. Now pitching for the Cardinals, number 7, Chase Blazak.
Each batter he faced and threw a wild pitch for a run to the top of the order. So there's a glimmer of hope here for the Broncos. They have the tying run at the plate, and it'll be Matt McKinley. Alvirne is down by 4, but they have the bases loaded and 1 out. And it's the top of the order. It's McKinley, Patrick Rousseau, and Dan Brown. Stranger things have happened in the game of baseball than coming back from 4 down with the top of the order up and 1 out in an inning. Bishop Guertin's starting pitcher began this inning, Dan Ukropra, who was brilliant, allowing just 3 hits. He was relieved by TJ Hart. Hart didn't get anybody out. And now Alvirne has scored a run on a wild pitch and reloaded the bases on a walk by the 9-hitter Eddie Sweeney with a great at bat. So Matt McKinley has grounded to short, lined out to the second baseman, and fly to center in 3 trips. He's batting for the 4th time in this game. McKinley, who is an excellent hitter, is due. And no better time for a base hit, of course, than this situation here. How much does Matt McKinley want to get a base hit? The senior and starting pitcher in this game. 6-2, bases loaded. Chase Blazak from the windup delivers. Strike called. Blazak coming right at the hitter with the fastball. Gets his sign, works quickly. The pitch. Curveball in there. Strike 2. Blazak throwing nothing but strikes as he comes on in relief. Steps back off the mound. Bases loaded with Cardinals, trailing by 4. The pitch is strike 3 called in the outside corner. McKinley took 3. He thought that was outside, but the umpire punches him out for out number 2. Rousseau, the hitter. 2 outs. Alvirne down to their last out. Rousseau representing the tying run, but he's got to get on base or hit safely first. Dan Brown would be next. Tough at bat for McKinley, who didn't see anything he liked. Curveball up. just above the zone to Rousio. I'm sure he'd like nothing more than to set it up for Brown to tie it. The pitch. Missed low. Almost seems fated to have Dan Brown get up there, but Pat Rousio's having himself an at-bat right now. 2-0. Strike called. Rousio has flied to center a couple times and has singled in this game. Batting for the 4th time. The 2-1 pitch is on the way from Chase Blazak. Strike called in the inside corner at the knees. 2-2. Blazak's been pumping in strikes since coming on in relief for TJ Hart. Bases loaded, 2 out. The 2-2 pitch is on the way. Curveball swung on and missed. And Bishop Guertin is going to the big dance on Monday to the state final. The 15 seed comes in and gets it done. Behind the starting pitcher of Dan Cropera and the clutch hitting of the entire lineup, the Bishop Guertin Cardinals are going to the state final in 2016. And they're doing the happy dance here at Holman Stadium. What a ball game. What a finish. That was very exciting at the end as Alvirne had the tying run at the plate. Dan Brown left in the on-deck circle. That's a tough thing for the Alvirne fans who wanted to see if maybe they could get closer on the scoreboard, but it ends up being a 6-2 victory for the Bishop Guertin Cardinals. Star of the game's got to be Dan Cropera. The defensive star of the game, Jake McMaster in center field with a running catch straightaway center for the ages. Congratulations to the Bishop Guertin Cardinals. Congratulations to the Alvirne Broncos on a fantastic season and for a great tournament run. It ended with the tying run at home plate. Monday night, Delta Dental Stadium in Manchester, home of the Fisher Cats. Bishop Guertin will be playing for the state championship against the winner of the Dover-Bedford semifinal, which is coming up next. Thanks to our cameraman Frank Wallen for another outstanding job. Thanks to our executive producer Pete Johnson for setting this whole thing up here at Holman Stadium. For Tom King, I'm John Collins, thanking you for watching our Nashua ETV broadcast. The final score once again 6-2. Bishop Guertin winners. They're going to the state championship, folks. Good evening from Holman Stadium.